Hi Wendy. Hello, hi Emily. Hello Kaylee. Hi guys. Hi, I was actually ready early for once. Mason went to bed really easily, so bear with me 1 minute. I'm going to turn the washing machine off. Sorry about that, I'm back. I'd left the washing machine on and it's all I could hear, so that would have been really annoying. Anyway, so I'm going to set up a really simple sensory box that your children can do. And I'm going to try and do it quite quickly just to show you how quick it can be done. And then maybe towards the end, if people have questions, maybe we could do questions then, because I'm conscious if people have tuned in just to see the sensory box. So let's make a start. So I'm going to start by showing you how I dye pasta and rice and noodles and anything like that, because I do get asked this quite a bit. So the way that I do this, I have a big Ziploc bag. I keep these and reuse them all the time. So they're handy to have, particularly the large ones. And then all I do is tip out however much pasta I want. I've just done a little bit just to demo to you, because I was really prepared and did some last night, so it's very Blue Peter style-y. And then this, now I'm getting it all over my fingers because it's leaked, this one. Normally they're fine, and I normally say, oh, they're okay, they don't stain, but this one's a bit tricky. So I'm just going to show you. This is what I use, and this is what I always recommend to everybody. So it's called Sugar Flare. Can you see that? Sorry, the red has leaked in all my bag of, it's really gross. It's leaked, but it's Sugar Flare. It's a proper caterer's food colouring, so it's really strong and intense. So you only need a tiny bit. It does cost a little bit more than the ones that you get in the supermarket, but it lasts loads longer. And some of these colours I've had since, before Mason was born, so we're getting on for like 3 years now. The main colours I've had to replenish because I use those a lot. But they do last loads longer and you really don't need a lot. So that was Sugar Flare. See that? I think it'll be backwards, won't it? Okay, so I've got my Ziploc bag of pasta. I'm going to, it's a bit of a paste rather than the like the liquid ones you get in the supermarkets. Yeah, I love Sugar Flare. So I just use the end of a teaspoon, and you hardly need any. It's quite dark, isn't it? So this is actually Christmas red, so it's quite a dark red. So the reason I'm doing red, not only does it show up on camera for you guys seeing, but also I wrote a blog recently saying about getting ready for autumn and the kind of resources to have in, and I recommended that you maybe get the yellow, orange, brown, all those autumnal sort of colours, just because if you're anything like me, you're going to be making Play-Doh or dyeing things, you're going to be using those colours quite a lot. However, autumn does lend itself really well to lots of natural things, lots of natural colours, so you can always get away with it. Okay, so I'm just closing my Ziploc bag, a bit of pasta in there, and there's the food colouring. And then literally I do is just shake it. I'm just going to rub it around, and it doesn't take long. You see, the pasta's starting to colour already. I didn't do a lot of pasta because you don't want to stand and watch me shuffling it around, do you? Okay. And as you guess, the more food colouring you put in, the brighter the colour, basically. But seeing as this is an autumnal box, I don't know if you can hear me while I'm shaking this stupid thing. Here you go. You see, it's pretty evenly spread already. Doesn't take long at all. I'm just going to move this red stuff because it is dyeing everything it comes in touch with. Just to say as well that I do use these food colourings with Mason, with Play-Doh and things, and it never stains them. It's just when you're touching the actual paste, it can stain your hands. It's off by the next day. But I even put a tiny bit of this in his bath and in water play, and it's never stained him. So just put that out there. So our pasta is about dyed. And And then all I do is a baking tray, tip it all out. Now I normally have like paper, greaseproof paper, but I didn't have any today and it doesn't matter anyway. These are all baking trays. So all I do is leave it out like that, and I leave it overnight at least, normally 24 to 48 hours, so that it's properly dried. And you can check it that it's safe before your child starts touching it. But yeah, I'd say a good 24 hours at least. So that is how to dye pasta. The same if you do rice, if you do noodles, if you do spaghetti, anything like that. That's really quick. So, and then keep your Ziploc bag, and I'll just do red in that again. So that's that there. Now I've got some that I've already done. So I've already done lots of autumnal colours. So we've got orange. I've got the red. Can you see I put quite a bit more in that one? It's much darker. And I did a nice brown one. Oh, that that doesn't show up very nicely, does it? That looks a bit grim, but it looks like a real natural brown, so it's quite nice. So these are ones that I did last night. Now, I'm just going to show you this. So these are all dry. So these are all 24 hours, and they're all dry. Now then, you may just notice you might get the odd one where a lot of the dye's gone into it. So I just get rid of that, because otherwise that will stain your child's hands. In fact, there's 2 of them, so I'm just going to get rid of those. But the others look to be pretty safe. I'll give them a little check. Right, they're okay. So, like I said, have I just rubbed food colouring across my face? That's the kind of thing I do, isn't it? I once did parents' evening at school with pen all down my face, and no one told me. So I've learnt my lesson from that. So I've done the pasta. Like I said, I did these last night. So they've had a good 24 hours and they're ready. And I was also going to add in natural pasta. I've also got some wholemeal pasta as well, whole wheat rather, because it's such a lovely natural colour. It goes really well with our theme, doesn't it? In fact, seeing as we're doing autumn, you don't really have to dye them, because the autumn theme, the natural theme, sort of lends itself to these sort of colours anyway. So even if you don't have time to dye the pasta, you could just literally pour in a bag of pasta and it would work just as well, or sand or anything like that. But I've dyed these. Now that they're dyed, I will keep these forever. I store my resources. I have in Pound Shop at the minute, it's like a shoebox with a lid that's on a hinge, and these are perfect. It's perfect for storing things like this. So I'm going to put some pasta in. So, husband just letting the dog out because he's whining at the back door. So when I do my sensory activities, I quite often like doing them in these. They're nice in the tough spots, but these are just an under the bed storage box, nice and shallow but really sturdy. Mason nearly always, will get in and sit in it. So it's better to have one that's quite sturdy and not going to break, not going to bend. So I just think these are perfect. And I'll show you in a minute, I use them to then store all my resources. I get loads of messages from people asking how I store my resources, and I use these, I use shoe boxes, and then I use like these containery thingies. And I have a big wardrobe in our garage that I put everything in there. But you have to remember that this is what I do, so I do have a ridiculous amount of resources. My husband says I'm a hoarder, but I'm not a hoarder. Anyway, so we're going to pour these in. Now, you could mix them all up, they look really lovely, but it is so nice when they're in the colour stripes, and you kind of like don't want your child to like go in and mess it up, but they still look really pretty when they're all mixed up. So I'm just going to pour it in. I'm not using the red that I've just done because that won't be dry. So this is a bit dull, this bit. I'm literally just chucking them in. I'm just going to pop in an extra one. These storage boxes do hold quite a lot. So I've probably used about 4 bags of pasta altogether, these size pasta bags. So they do take quite a lot, but you could just do a shallow one at the bottom if you don't want to use loads, that's fine. Okay. Ah, can you see? It looks so pretty. I know, it does look really nice and then you're like, oh, don't mess it up. But trust me, when it's all mixed, it still looks really effective. So we've got some really lovely autumnal colours going on now. And this is now, so this is like our base. Just the sound of the pasta, the feel, I've got the fusilli one. So just the feel of it is really lovely. Yeah, so it's just a really nice one to try. And as you can see, it just looks irresistible that you want your child to see it and just be drawn to it and want to dig in and explore and get excited by it. So by taking a little bit of time just to add the colour and make it inviting, there's more chance that your child will sit and engage with the activity. Okay, so that's the pasta done and dyed, and that's the base set up. Hello, Olivia. Olivia's on. Goodbye. So that's that bit done. Sorry, got distracted. Now I'm going to add some resources. Now, when you're picking the resources to go in here, I'm doing it on the autumn theme, so lots of natural things, but you're also wanting to provide quite a wide variety of things like materials, the different textures, and also think about what you want your child to be doing. Are you wanting them to explore things that they've never really seen before? Are you wanting them to explore tools and using tools and practicing all their pincer grip and things like that? Or are you going to be putting in animals and encourage them to do lots of small world and sort of pretending and making up stories and things? So have a little think, and anything that you're sorry, I'm reading comments while I do this, so it's really tricky. Anything that your little one is really into is the best thing to start with. So if your little one is really into soft toys and animals, whack them in with a load of lovely natural resources, and they're going to be drawn in and they're going to be playing, aren't they? Or if not, it's nice to just try something new, so we could just go with it. So I'm just going to show you some of the things that I've brought that I might add to my sensory box now that the pretty pasta is ready. So I'm just going to show you, this is my nature box. Okay, so this is my box full of natural stuff because I do, oh no, I don't want them to get stuck together. I do love doing this. I love setting up anything like these. And remember that this is what I do, so it's not, I of course don't expect you guys to have all this stuff. I collect these things when, particularly natural stuff, you can collect when you're out on a walk. But other things that I've got, lovely feathers. These are from like a florist. And then I keep loads of stuff in Ziploc bags just for ease, so it's sorted for me, so that when I think that I want to do something, I can go up and pick it up really quickly. And then these in here are, I imagine, were very trendy at one time or another. You see, they're like a wooden fruit bowl thing. I just can't leave them. I had to get them, but we've used them loads, and they're polished. They feel lovely. I'm sure they look lovely in someone's house once upon a time, but they make a really lovely sensory activity. So it's just getting in the habit of, when you're out and about, collecting coconut shells, great big pine cones and things like that. So this is just how I store my resources. So thinking along those lines, I might want to add in some big spiky pine cone with nice little coconut shell. Now also another thing, if it's a toddler that you're providing this for, toddlers love filling and emptying stuff. They love putting things in and pulling things out. It's all the cause and effect. They like to see, when I do this, what's going to happen, this is going to happen, and making those predictions. So if your toddler is into something like pouring and emptying and scooping, then have a little think of how you could use this. So working along those lines, I've got some wooden egg cups, which would be lovely for putting the pasta in and out, so I'll put some of those in there. And I also got some wooden pegs too, and wooden pegs are great because they're good for the pincer grip, and they could even pick up the pieces of pasta with that. Pick up the pieces of pasta, that was hard to get out, wasn't it? Here's a selection of tools that would work quite nicely with this. We've got the measuring cups. It's always worth having a pack of these in the cupboard. I've got the plastic ones. I've also got some lovely metal ones, but they're in the mud kitchen and I haven't grabbed them, and it's raining now. So they could be really lovely, and it's really nice to be filling those, but also it's nice having some tiny ones as well, because the smaller ones mean that they have to concentrate, they have to, they're really using those smaller muscles and the control to be able to use them. Natural things always look lovely with natural resources, so like wooden spoons, but also, as well as metal, clear things always look quite nice with anything natural. So if you have any clear, these are just scoops for sweets at a wedding, these are fab. So any scoops like this, and if you can get lots of things in different sizes, so like I've got a teeny weeny little one here which is very cute, something like that, and I might put in one of the small ones. What also works well is if you have measuring spoons. Oh, they're quite autumnal, aren't they, in the red? Or don't you remember these from the formulas? I have a drawer full of these that of course I kept just in the off chance that I might need them. So the measuring spoons are quite nice because they're really tiny, and there's a little scoop that's going in there. And then, now then, I love cardboard packaging, anything like this. Or I've saved an egg box in this orange colour because it's such a vibrant colour and it goes so well with autumn, doesn't it? So I'm just going to rip off the edge straight. I don't want that on. You can keep it on if you want to, but I don't want to. And I'm just going to rip off that bit. And I'm just going to keep it like that, because isn't it lovely? You could they could put their pasta in there. It could be really nice. So it's all just about building it up. You don't want to put too much in. I'm trying not to put too much in. I just want to show you stuff. But again, look at that one. It's just, they're just so inviting. You can do so many things with these. I just can't burn these lovely pieces of cardboard packaging. Imagine saying thank you, but I have topped up my makeup. I don't look like this all the time. By this time of night, it's normally hair in a bun, no makeup on, that sort of thing. But I'm just going to put this back on. Let's get back on track. Okay, and then because it's autumn, it's worth just having collections of these sorts of things. Sorry, I keep going off camera. So pine cones, when you're out and about, have a little walk, fill your pockets, fill your boots, and put those in. The lovely texture, and then they sound fabulous as well, don't they, when they all rumble together. And these are nice as well. You see a lot of these in florists. What does your husband think of all your stuff? Oh, he goes mad. He's only next door. He hates it. He just thinks I'm a hoarder, basically. I have a cupboard under the sink as well that's also full of stuff. And every so often I have to be really careful. So these are like these, what's the word for them? There's a word for them. Willow balls, not the willow balls. I can't remember, it's gone. They're not twine. I'm sorry, the wood's gone. But you've seen them, they're from decorations and things. So these are any homeware shops. I think I actually got these in TK Maxx in the sale once. Anywhere that sells homeware, or any sort of cheap shops like B&M stores. What's the other one? Home Bargains, they do good stuff as well. So it's just seeing it and picking it up when you're out and about. So anything like these are really lovely and light, and you can blow with them, and they feel great in hands. They're a little bit squeezy and a bit squodgy, so you can chuck a load of those in as well. Okay, then looking at different textures, I'm going to fly on now because I've got sponges and feathers, so it's anything like that. Wicker balls, yeah. Well done, everybody. I knew it's something like that. Sorry, I lose my words when I'm like talking, like public speaking things. I just forget my main words. I'm just going to quickly show you these. Another lovely resource. These are lotus heads, dried lotus heads. You get them in a lot of florists. Any homeware-y sort of places, again, Home Bargains, those sort of things, particularly this time of year, you'll see a lot of these. And hi, 5 minutes late always. Good name when you're saying that you're late. I'm creating like a autumnal sensory box thing. So we've dyed some pasta and we're just adding bits and pieces now. So these are lovely, particularly if you're pairing it with rice, because the rice goes into the little holes for little fingers to go into, and it's really lovely. They're nice. Again, these are from like florists. Pebbles are another lovely one. And then I've got this great big lovely stone. So if you've got some things that are of different weights, you've got like the really light things with the big heavy smooth stone, anything like that. So we're building up quite a treasure trove of things for your little one to look at. You can just lob it all in, but just to show that there is a thought process behind it. Toilet roll is really nice, particularly I'm going to be putting some bugs in, so building little homes for bugs and things are quite inviting. So like we were saying, toddlers love to put things in and out, don't they? So we'll just pop it all in, and then this great big piece of driftwood, because I love driftwood and it looks really nice. That's a reason on its own. I think we've got most things in. I did have a little wooden bowl I was going to put in. I've got a tiny weeny little wooden bowl. It's very cute, so I'm just going to put that in just on its side. Okay. Did I mention tongs? No, I didn't. Before we move on. Leaves. When you're out on your autumn walks with your little one, leaves are lovely, particularly the brown ones, because they've got such a gorgeous crunch to them. So have a little pile of those. Just, let them smash them up, let them crunch them, let them feel the rhythm between their fingers. It's just a new sensation. There's so many lovely resources out there at the minute. Go on lots of winter autumnal walks, take loads of bags and buckets with you, or just coats with big pockets and just fill up, because it's just a really easy way of collecting resources. Now these are another item that we use quite a lot. These are just tongs, kitchen tongs, and wooden, so they're not nice. We did once write GHD on the side because we use them as hair straighteners. But again, really great for children practicing, picking things up, and it's using tongs and things, and it's that pincer grip that I'm always talking about, which helps later in life when they're having to use scissors and hold a pencil and that sort of thing. And then these are a tool I'm often asked about. You get these as part of a four pack of tools, and they're called handy tools or something like that. You get these on Amazon, and they're like a pair of scissors, but they've got a cup at the end, so they would actually be able to pick up pasta and conkers of things and put them in there. So these are really great. Mason is pretty good with his hands because he likes his tools and uses a lot of those. He's just now started sort of getting the grip of them. So that's, that's almost 3-year-old, so I wouldn't start any earlier than that, because that's a real skill. He's using those two separately. That's pretty tricky. So just to warn you about those, they're for a little bit later on. They're quite a skill to use those. They can be quite tricky, and if it's too hard, they just get frustrated, don't they? And you don't want to put them off. So maybe tongs and things like that, and only when they're ready, move on to something like that. Okay, so we're building up our box now. It's quite full. I probably wouldn't put all this in for Mace normally. It's just because I want to show you the variety of things. And then finally, we didn't seem to have many. We're not a massive fan. I'm a massive fan of animals. Mason's not a massive fan of playing with animals and things like that, so I don't have loads. So I don't really have any squirrels or hedgehogs and things like that, because that would be really great to add into here, talk about hibernating and things like that. But I don't have it because we don't have all the toys in the world, do we? So, but we do have bugs, and we do quite like bugs. So I have spiders from Halloween and these extra large bugs, which again are great for encouraging children to tell stories and take on different roles and use their voices as though they're an animal, so it takes the pressure off themselves, that sort of thing really. Again, you don't need to add loads. Oh, I just spotted something I completely forgot I had. Sorry. So I got these in Tiger last year. I know I talk about Tiger a lot, but they are really great as well. Can you see they're bugs set in like a resin? These are fab and would be lovely, wouldn't they? So we could always pop those in as well, and they feel really nice. So they're really great. And you could add in magnifying glasses. You could go to town on this. It's so easy. I think an autumn theme is a really lovely way to start with children. Yes, Tiger. Okay, so we're drawing to a close now because I've talked a lot. Finally, Before we end, all I was going to say is how I would present this to Mason. So I would normally lie this sat inside a tough spot, or I would lay it on a rug or some sort of tablecloth, because I find that if it's sat on something larger than the box, it does help to contain the mess. The children see it as like a boundary, that this is where it is kept. Okay, things will go all over the place, and particularly when you've got lots of small things like the sensory, like all the pasta. But by having some sort of cloth out, or even masking tape off on the floor, an area that is going to, and you will find that the children naturally keep the resources within that area, rather than wandering off around the house, with handfuls of pasta. We're not trying to make our life harder, we're trying to keep it as easy as possible. So anything like that can catch the mess is brilliant. And also have a dustpan and brush nearby, because they need to be a part of the tidying up as well. They need to sweep up all the pieces of pasta. If they're going to be chucking it out and about, they've got to help you pick it up at the end of the activity. So that's a really big tip. And then finally, I'm just going to say that I would probably leave this out, don't hate me, for about a week. I know it's tough, because we all want a nice home as well as like a learning environment. But that's the handy thing about having it in these boxes. When they're not in the mood, when they're not playing, you put the lid on, you move it out of the way, and then next day when they're ready, you get it out. Just by having it out and having it available to your child for all different times of the day means that they will come to it in different ways, they will explore it in different ways, or they might, what we call, consolidate their learning. So say if Mason was using the tongs and practicing picking them up and putting them in the egg cup and trying really hard, and finally manages to get it and perseveres and gets there, the next day when he comes, he's going to want to do that again, just to show, oh yeah, I can do this now, I've mastered this skill. So it's that sort of thing. By having it out, they're able to practice all the skills that they're learning, but they may also come along and actually, I'm not going to do the tongs today, actually I want to have a look at the bugs, and I want to explore the bugs and tell a story with those. Or do you know what, I'm feeling a bit sleepy, so I might just play with the pasta and listen to the sound it makes. You see what I mean? They may come to it with a different view every time. So by having it out, one, you're not wasting too much time feeling like you have to set up an activity every day, but also it's just helping them to consolidate, and also it's taking the pressure off you, because you do not have to create these activities every single day. I do, because it's what I do, but it's just to try and inspire you and show you of different things that you could try. So I hope that helps. I'm conscious that I do babble and talk quite quickly when I do these. Sometimes these videos save at the end, so I will try and re-put it out on YouTube or something like that, but we'll have to see. I'm not a techie whiz, surprisingly enough. But yeah, okay. Right, I'm sorry if there are any questions I missed. I'm going to have a quick scroll and check that I've not done lots of things. Yeah, this sort of, yeah, I don't know if I can add it to my stories, but I might be, I'll see, I'll have a look into it. This sort of thing, I just think a nature theme, it just lends itself. You don't need to go and buy anything. It's going to be stuff that you have in the house, or stuff that you can pick up on a woodland walk, something like that. So yeah, dead easy. Amazing, you need to make this a weekly live video. Do you know what, a while ago I did, and I was doing like nearly every Wednesday, and then, it's like life just gets in the way, and we've had so much like building work, and it's just been a bit crazy. So yeah, I'm really going to try and do some more videos. So if there are any things that you'd like me to show you, I'm more than happy. Please send me a message and I can help you out. Lovely, thank you. Thank you, Rebecca, you are always so lovely. Okay, I think I've caught everyone. Hi Dana. Lovely. Okay, so I think we'll end there, because this is getting a bit boring, Matt. Watching me read messages. Thank you very much for joining me. Yep, if you've got any ideas of any videos you'd like me to cover, then please message me and I will do my best to cover them. I'm going to do more question and answer sessions as well. I did one at lunchtime this week, and I'll try and do more. You can try and catch me with any questions that you have regarding play. And I think and I'll be around. So thank you very much. Lovely to see you all, and thank you for your support always. I really do appreciate it. Oh, Miss Deanne had to sort the toddler. I'm not sure what you missed. It might just be me. It's probably just me rambling on. But yeah, I was just saying I'm going to try and see if I can save this and republish it. If not, I can do a blog post or something on it. All right. Thank you very much, everybody, and see you soon. Bye.